All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I just have a couple quick housekeeping items before we jump into the presentation. You are right now able to ask questions through the Q&A tab on Zoom, located at the bottom of your screen. Your microphone and camera are turned off throughout the presentation. We do encourage you to sign up for more sessions and view the other options at oacac.org. And then I also want to remind and let everybody know that this session, as well as all of the other sessions that have been offered through this series, will be available on a recorded session at oacac.org moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us. And without further ado, I will turn it over to our presenters.
Thank you so very much, Dan. I greatly appreciate that welcome and intro. Welcome to everyone here today. My name is Brandon with PIA, the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics. And the goal of today in this virtual sense is for you to get to explore our institution in a way that really gives you a further insight of the industries that our graduates get into, as well as the education that our school can provide. I think so many times in life, I love the quote, you find a way or you find an excuse. And I would love to thank OACAC and StriveScan for finding a way instead of an excuse this year and giving each of you this opportunity to explore your educational options to find that best possible path for you and your future. So what I will do right now is I will share my screen because I have some wonderful visuals that I would like to share with you throughout today that I think will give you a little bit further insight than my words ever could. So simply stated, PIA, the Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics, is an elite and unique educational opportunity. We allow our students the ability to live out the lessons they learn by working on our fleet of aircraft and aviation equipment. We are a hands-on educational institution, and what that means is our students not only learn the theoretical foundation of the aviation, aerospace industry, and beyond, but they really get to live out those lessons by working on the equipment, which we find prepares our students for the industry in a much greater way than simply being in the classroom. So we have that great combination of classroom time, but also hangar time, where they can work on that equipment and really learn in that hands-on way. And that's what you'll come to find about PIA today. So PIA graduates have gone on to work for aerospace organizations like NASA, SpaceX, Aerojet Rocketdyne, for technology companies like Pratt & Whitney, Lockheed Martin, for airlines, Piedmont, Boeing, American, and I am just scratching the surface, but I want to give you some examples of the final destination because a lot of times that can serve as inspiration for each and every one of you as you begin to explore these fields. Simply stated, what we do at PIA is propel our graduates into careers in the aviation industry, the aerospace industry, and beyond. And I'll talk about that a little bit too, because their skills are so highly transferable and sought after that they can even move beyond these industries and work in other avenues that go past aviation and aerospace. But what I'd like to do off the bat is share a very unique opportunity that our students at PIA are afforded. And that is to compete in the AMC, the Aerospace Maintenance Competition. But before I get there, I would like to share a student who is living out his dream of working in the aerospace industry, and that is our 2011 graduate, Chris Hoffman. This summer, we celebrated Chris Hoffman for his accomplishments working at SpaceX on the Falcon 9 rocket, which was used in this summer's SpaceX launch. Since then, Chris has gone on to work for Astra Aerospace, where he is the launch operations director, overseeing all the launch operations for that company. So someone who had thoughts and dreams of working in aerospace, he had the drive, dedication, and the proper preparation through his PIA education to make those dreams come true. I share these alumni spotlights, hopefully that they can serve as motivation or inspiration to each of you, because it wasn't that long ago that Chris was sitting in a high school classroom or attending a college fair, wondering what was next for him. So let's look at one of those opportunities that dives into aerospace that PIA students have an opportunity to participate in before they even graduate our program. And as I mentioned, that's the AMC Aerospace Maintenance Competition. The best way I could describe this is the Olympics of aerospace repair, building, engineering, and take Skills USA in your high school if you're familiar, and just take it to the highest possible height. Not only do colleges send teams here, aerospace and companies, airlines will send teams to compete. And as you can see, PIA has done pretty well. It was most recently held in Orlando, Florida. And this is not only an amazing aspect to put on your resume, but a great opportunity that our students take pride and honor in competing in, as they should. But instead of tell you, I would much rather show you. This is from some of the last AMC competitions, the most recent one in Orlando, Florida, with PIA participating.
I can't believe how big this place is and how many people we've seen and how many people we've met. The experience is awesome.
What an amazing opportunity that our students get to participate in. And that is absolutely something, if you're interested, whether you were able to compete in Skills USA in high school and perhaps one of your tech programs or not, like I said, that is just taking that to a much more professional, collegiate level. And if that's something that interests you, you can by all means take part in that at PIA. So at PIA, what we are not is perhaps a traditional four-year college where you're going to be in lecture halls. What we are, as I mentioned, is a hands-on training facility where our students get to live out the lessons they learn, as you see right there, on actual aircraft, really solidifying their education in a way that we find allows our students to flourish. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with students that perhaps weren't sure if furthering their education was the correct next step for them because they were a hands-on learner. That's what our program is built on and based off of. What I would like to do now for a moment is stop my share and make you aware of the Q&A box that you have. Each of you can take advantage of that and feel free to ask a question. I would love to personalize this session to each and every one of you, but even more so, whether I get to every question or not, I will get a transcript of your questions and ensure that someone reaches out to you to dive deeper. But by all means, ask a question, take advantage of that Q&A box, and I'll take a couple moments throughout today to stop, check the Q&A box to see for any questions and address them for the group. If you have a private question that you don't want people to address, that's fine. I'll kind of notify that by seeing that the nature of the question. I won't share your name or anything, and I'll have someone reach out personally and privately to you to be able to answer and facilitate that question. So what I'll do now is dive back in because I have some more things that I would love to show you. So there is one of our campuses that is in Hagerstown, Maryland. Our main campus is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We also have branch campuses in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Youngstown, Ohio. And I'll dive deeper into what they can provide. But what I'd like to do now is show you a day in the life at PIA. This is what it looks like to be a student at PIA, what it would look like if you were in one of our programs, which I always think is a really exciting, beneficial part if you're exploring potentially attending our institution. Without further ado, PIA, a day in the life. as quickly as possible. I think that gives you a good glimpse into what it looks like to be a student at PIA. What I'll do right now, whether anyone is here live with me virtually, for those that are here live with me virtually, or for those watching this in a recorded version, I want to provide for you the next steps. If anything I say today excites you and entices you, I encourage you to take that next step in exploring PIA, which would be a personal tour, socially distanced personal tour, which we are setting up for students. Whether attending our open house, we have a virtual open house coming up, a great way without even leaving your house to take that next step in exploring PIA. You can either scan that QR code, you can take a shot of your computer right now if you want to remember that to do it later, pia.edu/learn more. That will take you to a page where you can request more information from us, to have someone reach out to you, dive deeper with those questions. I don't know about you, but sometimes I sit through a presentation and I can't think of a question in the moment, but afterwards I think of 5 or 10. Well, we have you covered on that. That is absolutely something that we can take care of, whether it's inviting you for that personal tour or just answering one of your next questions. One thing I want to bring attention to in a very honorary way is May 24th is actually AMT Day. AMT is Aviation Maintenance Technician. That is what we train at PIA, students to be aviation maintenance technicians. Our programs culminate with students having a chance to test for and obtain their FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, Airframe and Power Plant certification, and or their FCC, Federal Communication General Radio Telephone Operator's License. These are not only above their education, but extreme honors, and give our students the ability, not even granted by our campus, but by the government, to work on aircraft. AMTs are so respected in the industry that May 24th annually is actually AMT Day, a day to celebrate their accomplishments. Whether it's the planes that we take on vacation with our family, the cargo planes that deliver the goods that help our world go round, or whether it be students at PIA working on Stat Medevac, delivering the medical supplies that literally save lives. And again, I'm just scratching the surface of what AMTs do. I'll dive a little deeper into that in a minute, but there's such a level of respect for what they do that it's been named a holiday. With that said, I'd love to show you our history. PIA has been in existence for over 90 years. We have roots tracing back to the Glenn Curtiss Orville Wright Flying Service. That's the same Orville Wright that was the first in flight. So you can't get any more ingrained in the history of aviation and now aerospace than PIA is. What you'll see from those humble beginnings in those grainy black and white photos that I'm showing you, the Curtiss Wright Flying Service, to how far we have come today. And this always blows my mind. From those humble beginnings, it was only 1903 in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, that the Wright brothers were the first in flight, to today, as I mentioned, with Chris Hoffman launching rockets through SpaceX and Astra Aerospace. How far we've come, but for each of you, how far we still have to go in this amazing industry, from those very humble beginnings of aircraft to some of the luxury jets and the amazing marvels of modern day technology that our students get to work on. It's exciting and an exciting industry to be in. And it's nice to know that PIA has this long running history that we take great pride in, but even more so, we take pride in our present and fueling this industry into the future through each and every one of you, if you choose to walk down this path. This is
when you think of a career as a mechanic, often the first thing that comes to mind is working in an auto shop, doing the repair and maintenance on our everyday vehicles. But what about those vehicles that travel thousands of miles in mere hours, transporting goods and people across the world as part of their everyday commute? Aviation maintenance technicians are the men and women who ensure the safety and reliability of our aircraft each day. Before a plane takes off, an AMT has worked tirelessly to ensure that the aircraft is mechanically safe to fly by diagnosing mechanical and electrical problems, completing routine inspections, repairing damage to wings, landing gears, and other components, and certifying that aircraft meets the standards set forth by the FAA. This work is led by an elite group of professionals known as AMP mechanics, who train for a minimum of 1,900 hours to understand the complex and unique systems that make up an aircraft, working on planes, jets, drones, blimps, helicopters, or rockets. Their highly specialized skill set makes them sought-after employees, not only in the aviation sector, but in many non-aviation related fields. If you are seeking a career that is fast-paced, challenging, and hands-on, then a career as an aviation maintenance technician might be right for you.
As just mentioned, whether it be planes, jets, helicopters, blimps, rockets, our students, our graduates, and AMTs are qualified to work on all of it. If it moves mechanically, our students are qualified to work on it. We've had Disney hire our graduates to work on roller coasters, coming in with that aeronautical understanding, and like I said, making them so diverse in the fields they can choose. And you don't necessarily have to know in this moment in exploring PIA what field you want to ultimately end up in, as you're going to get a well-rounded education. But it is something that you can hopefully today begin to think about. The reason I love sharing visuals is no matter what I say verbally, at least with me, I can ingest information that I see visually in a totally different way. It can inspire me and inform me in a way that seeing is believing, right? So that's what I hope to accomplish today with you, to give you that sneak peek into the industry. What I'll do right now, quickly check. I don't have any questions yet, but by all means, like I said, I will take a couple breaks throughout, and you can type them out at any time throughout this presentation. Diving back into what I would love to show you next. I've talked about what AMTs can do in the industry, but what are the skills that we prep and prepare our students on to be able to be certified by the FAA or licensed by the FCC? Here are the skills you'll learn at PIA. As mentioned, we give our students at PIA plenty of opportunities to positively make their mark on the world. I touched on some aspects of aerospace, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, Blue Origins, NASA. But what I want to touch on is a little bit of the future of aerospace. Uber Elevate, literally flying cars, and these aren't pipe dreams. These are projects that are currently being worked on, as well as the space hotel. Yes, a hotel in space, just like your family would go on a vacation to Disney, family can take that opportunity to be able to launch up into orbit and see the Earth from a whole new view. These are career paths and projects that our students would be qualified to get into and work on. So if you're someone who is interested in working on cutting edge level technology, making your mark on the world, and really having a career that challenges you in a hands-on type way, using a combination of intelligence and technical skills married together, then perhaps a career in the fields of aviation aerospace might be right for you. And I encourage you to explore PIA as a pathway to make that happen. So at PIA, we offer two programs. That's Aviation Maintenance Technology and Aviation Electronics Technology, or more commonly referred to as Avionics. I'll dive a little into our program. So our Aviation Electronics program, I mentioned our campuses earlier, that is only offered at our main campus in Pittsburgh as a 21-month Associate in Specialized Technology degree program. That culminates in our students being licensed, having a chance to test for, and be licensed by the FCC. Our other program, which we have a couple options for you on, is our Aviation Maintenance Technology program. So if the avionics program is the brains of the aircraft, the aviation maintenance technology is the engine and body of the aircraft. We offer that at our main campus in Pittsburgh as a 21-month Associate in Specialized Technology program, but also as a 16-month certification program at any of our branch campuses. And that's a decision that you may dive a little deeper with our reps on. We also offer our dual ticket program, which can be completed in 33 months, and you would leave actually with an education in aviation maintenance technology and aviation electronics technology. Now, graduates that leave with this dual education are many times sought after first as employees for the highest level positions. So aviation electronics, avionics, or aviation technicians, they work on navigation, communication, radar, flight controls, autopilot systems. Like I mentioned, the brains of the aircraft, the flight deck. Our aviation maintenance technicians, the airframe and power plant, or more simply stated, the engine and body of the aircraft. From landing gear to engine to diagnosing problems. Our students will even use a borescope, a fiber optic camera, to go inside areas of the aircraft that can't be accessed to diagnose and solve problems. So in some ways, our students are almost detectives, but instead of a whodunit, they are more of a what went wrong or how can I avoid it from going wrong. Some of the benefits that can be involved in this industry are if you work for a major airline, they have air travel benefits. And this is a way of saying thank you for the drive, determination, and attention to detail that it takes to work in this industry. And what that means is you fly potentially for free, depending on the airline, your family, your spouse, your parents, your children, as well as discounted buddy passes. So by all means, you'll have those high school friends reaching out or those college friends reaching out, those distant relatives looking to you for those extra tickets. Never get involved in an industry because of the perks, but it is nice to be respected in your industry, so much so that they're willing to provide perks of the industry, as I mentioned right here. So I know if I'm going to invest my time, effort, and money into an education, I want to make sure that education will pay off by having tangible employment in that field. So right now, a whopping 76% of aviation technicians are over 50 years old. 76% over 50 years old, 22% are 31 to 50 years old. That leaves that tiny green sliver under 30 years old. And the reason I share this, what this should speak to you is the vast amount of opportunity in this industry, not only to break into this industry with a respectable career and salary, but to advance up in this industry because there is a huge need and demand right now. And some of what I'll show you right here are Boeing's projections over roughly the next 20 years, 18 years, say, of all the different jobs that will come about all over the world. Nice thing about aviation and aerospace, you're not locked into living in one area. There are aviation maintenance technicians or aviation technicians needed all over the world. So it gives you a little bit of freedom if you choose and want to stay in your hometown or move and explore the country or the world. And I think that's nice. And these numbers constantly are going up. What I'll show you now is I mentioned aviation, aerospace, and beyond. But what does beyond mean? There are some untraditional paths, and only untraditional because they don't come to mind right away when we think of these industries, that I would love to tell you about, but I'd rather show you, whether that be firefighting, farming, entertainment, energy. These are all paths that our student can get into. And perhaps you're saying, well, how does aviation fit into entertainment or firefighting or farming? Let me show you. from movies to rescue. As I said, if you're someone who not only wants to work with technology, but I know it's important to me to be able to positively impact the world, whether that be in the sense of entertainment, saving lives, or facilitating our world literally having the services it needs to survive and thrive. Aviation and aerospace could be a path for you to explore. And as you're starting to see, it's not a singular path. If you go to law school, you're a lawyer, say, with some different avenues, I guess, within law. Aviation is so diverse that so many times a student entering in our program is still exploring their ultimate career destination. And I encourage you to do that. What I will do is answer some frequently asked questions with that you might be about to type right now that perhaps I can provide an answer to before you even have to. So I'll take some of the questions that I would normally get and we'll share the answers with you. Because I don't know, have you ever heard that in high school, if you have a question, chances are someone else did as well? Well, I come across a lot of the same questions. One of those questions I briefly mentioned earlier, we are ranked Forbes #1 two-year trade school. But people always say, what went into that ranking? And the different factors that went into that ranking are our postgraduate success rate, our affordability, our completion success, and as I mentioned, our student experience. All these aspects played in the fact of Forbes ranking us as the #1 two-year trade school. That's in 2018. They have not come out with a new ranking yet, so that's 3 years running. You can't get better than #1. Not only is this an amazing honor that PIA is proud of, what I'm even more proud of with this is this facilitates and fuels our graduates into landing the best possible positions because of the preparation that we provide at PIA. But I can't stress enough how our students take that seriously and, like sponges, absorb the education and training that they get to be able to fuel their hopes and goals in the industry. So I encourage you, whether it's PIA or any school, look into some third-party rankings to know that you're making the right investment. And I don't just mean monetarily. I mean with your time, effort, and energy. If you're going to give 100% to your education, you want to make sure that you're going to a reputable institution that you're going to get back what you put in with opportunities. For that's what education is. It's looking forward to provide the best and brightest future for ourselves by putting in the proper preparation, by having the proper education to be able to make those hopes and goals come true. Another aspect that played into our Forbes ranking that I am extremely happy to share with you all is our graduate employment statistics. For that's the goal of going to school, right? To land that ultimate career position. And I don't even need to really say anything on these numbers. You can look up some national averages, which ours are so much higher than that. We are very proud of this for our graduates, that when they come to our program, they are able to land careers in the field. Now, this doesn't mean that they got a job at a local store. This means that they landed a career in a related industry by using their education to obtain it. Very important whenever you look into any school. I'll try to give you some general advice and insight today that goes beyond PIA. I would definitely look into graduation statistics like this, graduate employment statistics. Are people able to land employment after going to, say, institution? Another one I always get is, show me the money. What kind of salaries can our graduates expect to make? So right off the bat, our graduates starting salary is $37,000 to $49,000. Now that's after 16 or 21 months. So you're leaving our school as a graduate if you enter after high school at roughly 20 years old, making anywhere from $37,000 to $49,000. But the average aircraft technician's median salary, the average salary, that's right in the middle, some making less, some making more, is $63,000. And I have to say that because of the demand and need for this industry, there are PIA graduates making six figures, making $100,000 and more. And this is nice to know that, like I said, that education is going to pay off, not only hopefully with a pride and purpose in what you do, but monetarily. Another piece of general advice I would love to share with each and every one of you, there are few gifts other than family and health that we can give ourselves other than having enjoyment in our employment, finding enjoyment in what we do, waking up in the morning and being excited to go to work. That might sound weird to some, but many people in this world are thriving, not just surviving, by going to work and having projects that challenge them in a wonderful way. And that's different for each person. There is no set, correct career path for everyone. There is no, oh, if you work in this career or this industry, you'll be happy and fulfilled in life. Different personalities, different people. Nothing wrong with a typical 9-to-5 office job, but a lot of our students that come into our program, they would find that to be monotonous and not enjoyable. They want to be challenged in that way of problem solving, working with their hands, and getting compensated correctly for doing so. So I encourage you, look into career paths and educational paths that excite you. How do you know if it excites you? You're thirsty for more information. If what I'm showing you today, if you're saying, wow, I didn't know that, and that makes me curious to learn more, that's something that you're passionate about. Follow that passion in a direction that'll lead you to the best and brightest future. Now, I mean best and brightest future of providing for you and your family, but also providing a happy life for yourself. I can't tell you the difference between some of my friends that have gone into different fields, how it bleeds into their personal life, how when they come home from work, they're either angry and jaded, upset from spending a day doing something they hated, or excited about life. This bleeds over to how they interact with their family and their friends, and I want that for each and every one of you. Not that there's not a snowy Monday morning where we have to dig our car out and it's tough to go to work. Of course, that happens to all of us. But if you have a job that you're excited to go to, it can make all the difference in obtaining that level of happiness. Before I dive into our next question, frequently asked question that I get, I would love to check our Q&A. We are okay at the moment. So I talked about landing that ultimate career position, but at PIA, by all means, we're going to provide the education that you need to do that. But one of my favorite parts about our program is that our career service team will work hand in hand with our students. And that's a dual partnership. They're there to support our students and graduates, but it's also about that student and graduate taking advantage of that opportunity. So we have shared job opportunities with our students approaching graduation. We hold career fairs where all different airlines, aerospace companies, technology companies will send representatives to our campus to interview our students. And I say students because they have not yet even graduated. They are interviewing them in a sense for once they complete our program, that they would go work for them. And it's not uncommon for a PIA graduate to get 4, 6, 8 job offers before even completing our program. Now, I want to be clear, that doesn't mean that they stop going to school and go to work. It's contingent on them completing our program. But it's nice to know where some people have that leeway area between college and their career where they're exploring options, hoping to get that job, that our students literally could finish school one day and start their employment the next week. That's a testament to PIA's reputation and the relationships we built within the industry. Not only that, but no matter how skilled you are in any trade or in any field, you got to land that job. So career decision counseling, resume writing, and interviewing skills. Interviewing skills, those soft skills, shaking hands, interacting on an interview, being able to properly articulate yourself in a way that will impress employers. We work with our students on all of that. So not only are they properly prepared with the technical skills and education, but they're properly prepared to land that dream job. That's what I want for each and every one of you, not to scale back your hopes and goals, to, I got to use a little aviation pun, to shoot for the moon, to have your dreams be high in the sky and be able to be achieved. And that's what we're going to do at PIA, from our admissions team to our amazing instructors who have a plethora of industry experience, to our career service team, all working together to fuel your success. After graduation is a unique thing. So our career service team doesn't stop working with a student once they've landed their first job. At any point throughout your career, you can reach out to PIA's career service team 5 years, 10 years after you completed our program with new opportunities. Maybe you want to move on to a different area of the industry, as I shared so many with you today. Maybe for some reason you're sick of winters in the Northeast, if that's where you live, and you want to move south or move to the West Coast just for personal reasons. You can reach out to PIA, and just like when you were graduating our program, we're going to share opportunities in overall in the industry or in that exact area of the industry that you're looking to move to. That's a great safety blanket to have throughout your career, to know that you're supported not only through our program, but afterwards. Samantha Cortese, a 2019 graduate of our Myrtle Beach campus, I really like her quote because it speaks to what I spoke of earlier, of finding a career that works for you. She's employed at Standard Aero, and I think the biggest compliment that she can give PIA and to herself, because it was her passion, drive, and dedication that put her in that position, is that she loves what she does. She found a career that speaks to her personality and her passion, and she enjoys going to work each day. Another thing I want to share, as you can obviously see, Samantha is a woman. And I think a big misconception of this industry is it's only for men. We have plenty of PIA alumni spotlights from both genders. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Don't let anything stand in your way, whether it's where you're from, whether it's your gender, whether it's your upbringing. All those are just details on the way. So we have done a lot of work with STEM and different organizations to make women aware of these industries as well, that they are qualified and able to work in them. And more than me telling you, Samantha is a living example of that. So I shared with you Chris and Samantha, but perhaps you're thirsty to learn more about PIA graduates, where they work and what they're doing. Well, you can go on pia.edu/career-services, and you can track our graduates all over the place, wherever they may working. On that map that you see behind there, each little one is a different PIA graduate. And as I mentioned, having an ability to work in all areas of the country and world. And hopefully they can serve as inspiration for you to say, oh, I like what Samantha does. That impressed me what Chris did, or any of our other graduates, and put you in that position to start striving after that, or serve as a thought process of what you would like to do in this industry. That might change too as more opportunities are presented to you. And this is a great way to do that. So what I'll do right now for anyone watching now or in a recorded version is give you another opportunity, pia.edu/learn more. You can go on, put in some information, express your interest right there. You'll actually see an event, a scroll down menu at the top. You can just click the event that you attended and go on and put that in. If that event isn't there, say that you're watching this weeks later on, you can actually click on a scroll down menu of my face, and you'll be able to put that same information in as well. The QR code as well as the browser address takes you to the same exact page, but it'll provide those next steps that you can have in your PIA exploration. What I want for each and every one of you is the best and brightest future. I encourage you to empower yourself through educational exploration. And kudos to each and every one of you for doing that today, for doing that by being here, looking into your options. That is an amazing quality. And with the right preparation and the right education, any goal is accomplishable. And that is what today is all about. That is what looking into your options is all about. How can you make the best, most informed, empowered decision if you haven't looked into all the possibilities? So explore your options. And like I said, if anything today excited you or interested you about this industry, I or a representative from PIA would love to facilitate your next steps in exploring our institution, whatever that may be, whether that's a simple question or taking that next step to come onto campus or attend one of our virtual events. As we begin to get low on time, I'll just check and see if I had any questions so far. That's wonderful. I suppose I addressed the questions that you might have had for us. I very much look forward to potentially seeing some of you on campus. And no matter what I showed you today, it pales in comparison to being on campus, walking in our hangar, seeing the larger than life aircraft. And that's really where that switch turns on in a student that solidifies that PIA is the right decision for them as their next step in education. So no matter what you saw today, we have some great videos, whether it be on YouTube, whether visuals I showed you today, or our website, pia.edu. Nothing compares to physically being on campus or attending our virtual open house, but it is a requirement to physically tour our campus before enrolling in our program. So that would be the next step that you could take. With that said, I'll leave you with some final parting advice. Twofold. Right now, our world is dealing with this COVID pandemic. It is a hurdle for our planet to hop, and we will get through this. Don't let that negate you and your future hopes and goals. Just as StriveScan and OACAC found a way to bring you this educational exploration, you have paths available to you. Our students are so fortunate that even in this pandemic, where airlines have slowed down, they have so many other avenues to explore. And if you're a student who is interested and excited to work for an airline, by the time you went through our program, all the sources I have say that the airlines will come thriving back. And that's something to be excited about. My parting piece of advice, when you pair passion, positivity, and persistence with drive, determination, preparation, and the right education, you can truly accomplish anything, whether that be like Chris at SpaceX, Samantha at Standard Aero, working for an airline, a tech company. You can help humanity forge forward if that's what you choose to do. If you put in the right work, preparation, and have the right education behind you. So with that said, good luck to you in all you do. I wish you nothing but the best. Have a good rest of your day, and thank you for your time today.
All right, well, thank you so much, Brandon, for all of that information about PIA. Just a quick note to all of the attendees. Once you close your window, there will be a quick 4-question survey that will appear. If you wouldn't mind filling that out, we would appreciate any feedback about the session that you are able to provide. We definitely still encourage you to sign up and view all of the other sessions that are still available by visiting oacac.org. And again, recordings will be available upon about a week after this presentation. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful afternoon.